abode, home. I have a festive Santa fish behind me. That is Ferguson, my wooden fish, and some art, and I'm in a jungle of plants, as you can see. This is my lovely living room. Welcome here. We are here with Art Studio, live on Studio Central's page. And it's the holiday break. If you're not familiar with who I am, because I haven't had a chance to do a live stream for, I want to say this time last year was last time I was doing some live streams, like solely on my own, talking to you folks alone in my house. Haven't done that since last year. And last year we were in a different scene. I was in my lovely apartment. Now we're in the home. Yeah, so it's been a while. So it might be a little funny. It's showing you that this is actually just live. I'm not, you know, doing a little pre-record or anything. You're gonna get all the fun with me here doing this today. My name is Marissa. I am the program director for Studio Central. So if you do happen to pop by there when we are open, which we'll be opening back up on Wednesday, January 4th, you can see me. I'll be there mostly every day. If I'm not, I'm in my back office doing some program prep for other elements of our Art Studio, but I'm always there or close by. So come say hi. We do, if you're not familiar with Studio Central, which I mean, you're on our Facebook page, but hey, maybe you just got us for these online demos that we do on Friday with Kate and Ollie, and sometimes you may charge for it, which is very fun. But we do art programming in the downtown area for folks. No really restrictions of who can and can't come. The only thing we do have is that we are an adult facility, so you can, you know, if you don't have kids, or if you have kids and you have some coverage for them, you are more than happy and welcome to come by and do some art with us. We do art workshops every day aside from Thursday. Thursdays we have our creative writing circle, but every day we have a workshop. It's Studio Central, and we have somebody coming in facilitating. We have the supplies that are given to you as well, and it's just a place that you can come meet other artists. And if that's not your thing and you just want a space to do your work, you're also welcome to do that too. We always have open studio time before and after our workshops, and as long as, you know, you're letting the people do their teaching, you can do it during the workshop too. It doesn't matter there, but it's just a creative place to meet other people. So with our holiday break, we wanted to be able to continue that creativity and working on some art alongside others. And here we are, live streams, art demos. That was a lot of talking and describing, but you know what? This is the first one. We are doing 3 more, one tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. So I have to do this long intro. They can just go right into it. Alright, well, let's get started. I have a calming beverage. Always have some type of thing to keep you, you know, grounded and at ease. So I have some lukewarm coffee. It's almost all, and I do have a water beside me down here too. So grab yourself something to drink if you want to, or a little snack as well. And it is a live video, so if you do type or like or post anything in the comments, I can see those. And I don't know if you can hear, but my dishwasher just finished washing dishes and sings me a song to let it know it's done. Hopefully you can hear it. If not, I'll just be silent. We're gonna do a drawing exercise today. A few actually. No real specific techniques that we'll be doing. Mostly just something to kind of get yourself going and flowing on the paper. You'll need any type of drawing utensil. I have a few of my favorites here, and by that I mean just the things that were on my table beside me. It's going to be, again, not an intense amount of technique, just what we have on hand to get ourselves doing something creative. And we're actually going to do a few more mindfulness-centered drawing exercises, and then there's going to be one too that just kind of helps with your creativity to get yourself loose with that. But it's all just going to be kind of some type of art. But I always tell folks when we are at Studio Central that if you have busy hands, your mind becomes a little less busy. So busy hands, less busy mind. Maybe busy hands, clear mind. It'll have a ring to it. I'll make it work sometime. But I just have my sketchbook, and I have a plethora of items to draw with. You honestly can just do this with a pencil, so I brought in a pencil. I also have a few pencil crayons in case I want to add some flair to my drawing following. And then I have a standard, just ballpoint pen that was on the counter. I have a fancy art pen, but I mean, I might use it. It's really old, so it might be like kind of spotty, which could make a good technique. And I have a brand new Posca ink pen. These are very fun. One of the exercises will be more useful to have like a thicker marker or just like a very bold color, or bold like size, thickness, whatever your line is. But I picked this forest army khaki green because green is a beautiful color, if you couldn't tell from my surroundings. Also, note on the paper I am using, this is a sketchbook that I made. I was practicing some bookbinding after learning it at Studio Central, and I went to the Value Village, which is Goodwill, and I picked up just an old book cover because I really liked the texture, and then I took that book cover off and used it for my own, so I didn't have to worry about like trying to make it fancy inside. But I really wanted to note on, using your sketchbook for anything. A lot of times I've been trying to keep it on brand or on a certain theme. So say if I'm working on just, art projects or drawings that I want to make into a necklace or a pendant or something, or make into a painting or a lino cut in the future, and I just want to doodle something out, I would use that for one sketchbook. And then if I have, some thoughts or some ideas about something, but they're not really formulated, and I just want to write in something, I used to do that in another book as well, but now I'm doing it in the sketchbook. So I'm really trying to utilize my sketchbook as not being this like super sacred object that, I can only put really good drawings in, or I'm going to ruin it. And I kind of put myself in a trickier position of that because I really went to town on like making sure I had a really nice paper that I enjoyed in this book, and I really put a lot of effort making this sketchbook because I bound it myself. But I find as an artist I have a lot more freedom in having no like restrictions or rules of what I can and can't put in my sketchbook. So here I have like some actual planned out like map layouts of a place I was going to set up, like a display. I have more, but then if I keep going through somewhere, I can definitely find like an actual collage that I made and I glued it in. So that's my last note on my talking here about, have a sketchbook that's not precious. Sometimes draw very beautiful spoon faces in them. Because you never know. It makes you feel kind of free. So on that note, our drawings today are not really going to be finalized projects or full ideas of something. They're really just going to be something, again, get my ideas on that paper. The first one we're going to do, because I'm going to swap right away to that. First one we're going to do is called Drawing Our Breath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera off of my face so you don't get to see me in the beautiful Santa Fergie anymore. I'm going to swap you around to my very precarious setup for my table. We're going to have you flip over to my sketchbook so you can see what I'm doing and kind of do it along with me, or do it your own way, or if you just want to sit and listen to me talk for like 30-40 minutes, welcome. We're doing that now. I will try and keep the banter flowing, but also try to keep it in relation to what I'm doing in the book and the drawings here. Okay. pencil. There's no more pencil in this workshop. Sorry to say that. Okay, but I have my items here. I think I'm going to go... I really want to go with my Posca, but I'll do that one later. I'm going to go with just this nice blue pencil crayon. I'll go with that first. And I will put these on the couch behind me and hopefully you don't forget. So I think what I'll do is have my book vertical. It is important if you are using like a sketchbook to do like something that you can lay flat. Just that way if you are drawing a lot, you're not going to get like, this isn't going to interfere, and you can even continue your drawing from this page to the other. Pardon me. Sketching because my hand's like through my carpet, so I might knock you a little bit. But that's okay. I'm going to put my water there so it's an interesting element. Okay, so I think I'm going to put it sideways here because I'm going to draw my breath with this exercise. So I don't know if you can see my toes in the camera. No, you cannot. But really important for you to get comfortable before you're doing this. And this exercise is just something that you can help you slow down and focus. I really should have got a less wobbly table, but hey, we do work with what we got. It's okay. So for this exercise of drawing your breath, you're going to really focus on those ins and those inhales and exhales as you breathe in and out. This isn't meant to, like slow your breath at all or elongate or like speed up. Like once you notice yourself doing that, try and like bring it back to regular drawing. But every time you breathe in, you breathe in, you're going to kind of start at the middle. And when we breathe in, we'll trace our breath and just draw it. And when we feel like it's ready to breathe out, then we'll bring it back down. And we'll do a couple breaths in and out, and that'll be something to help just kind of bring us into a state that we're ready to do some art and sit and draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relax my posture, put my feet on the floor just so I can kind of ground myself. I'll take a nice deep breath from the start and then breathe in and out. And in and out. And looks like little bunny ears, but hey, we'll keep going for that. So I'm going to keep breathing in and out as I do this. Lost track. I started breathing in on this line, so I'm going to keep going. And this is something, this is the first time I've done this, but again, it's just getting myself ready to go into a few other drawings that I would normally do an exercise for. So I'm trying this out myself for the first time. We'll start again here. Another thing to do, you'll notice the change in line weights. This one that I was drawing on, I had my hand and my arm resting on my paper, which is completely fine. That's a way that I comfortably draw. But for this one, just to kind of even see the flow of your breath, I held the pen up higher, and I did not rest my hand, my arm, or anything on there. And that kind of adds like a differentiation between what you're doing as well. So I'll try it this time without even leaning on my leg as I'm doing it. Start with a deep breath in. a very long silence, and I hope you weren't hearing me breathe in and out too much, but I was opening my mouth as I was doing it. So here we have my final bit of my breath drawing that I've done. Um, and like I said earlier, I was kind of doing it in different ways that my hand was positioned. So this one I had with my hand, resting on the paper, um, my arm resting on my leg, just kind of having a really controlled movement as I did it. This next one I did with my hand off the paper but still resting on my leg. And then this one I did kind of with more sat up posture and just had my arm floating versus resting on the paper, on the leg. The only contact my arm was having with my drawing was actually like on the pencil crayon's point there. But you can have a peek and see like just the difference where this one's very heavy weighted and controlled. This one still very similar controlled but not as heavy as a line. And then here it's just completely become more fluid and free. When I was doing this drawing, I was having these sort of like side moments where I kind of like had a minute, or not a minute, gosh, had a second just to hold on to that breath that I just got in and really like, kind of have it with me and then let it pass again. So that's what I added into these. And then I just tried, doing shorter breaths, but not something to, kind of make myself feel like I was hyperventilating. I wouldn't recommend that if that kind of triggers that reaction in you, but still controlled shorter breaths, almost like if I just had a run and I was just like, finished my run. They do that long. Finished my run, and I was there, and I was like, kind of like, I had my big, heavy panting breathing, but I was just getting to the end of it. That's kind of that controlled breathing I did. Yeah, but there's the difference of all those motions. I feel like I could either just leave this in my sketchbook now as an activity that I did, or even go back to it and say maybe I want to go in and grab like another pencil crayon or another type of drawing utensil and add to this. Maybe I want to kind of like do something that I can like interweave drawing with, or I could just kind of like scout color around it, or I could make these lines thicker, make it a shadow, or turn it into a picture. So there's a lot more that I can do to evolve this drawing, and I might do it in the end, or I just might leave it as is and use this as an example for future exercise. Next one here, it's kind of gonna connect into our final exercise. I have three, but I can kind of move this one to the other. So this one I want to use our Posca pen for, because I feel like a big, thicker, bold drawing will be really nice with this. So for these, I have to shake them. So I'm going to do that off camera a little bit as I'm talking, but what we're going to do now is called just taking, it's sort of mindfulness doodling, mindfulness doodling again, but it's almost like we're going to take our pen for a walk across our paper. So I will have my pen prepped. I'm just kind of doing this off to the side. This is the one thing, Poscas are so fun, but this is brand new. I just took it out of the plastic, so you have to shake it a bunch to get the pen or liquid, I guess, the ink inside to flow freely. And then once you open it, it's white. The cap is white, so we're gonna have to just like let the air in, like push it down a bit. Oh, and look, now our pen is green. Now I'm gonna doodle just like up here to show how it's working. Oh, that is a nice dark line. I wasn't expecting this pen to be so beautiful. Oh my gosh. It like looks black on camera, but it's like a very nice dark green. Happy with that. All right. So next exercise is you know what? We could call everything gets used with mindfulness something. So let's just call it taking your friend for a walk. I think that sounds funny. And then I will to put a little drawing of running shoes. And then you're holding hands with a pen. I just felt like that was necessary. Good. You're holding hands with a pen. It's a very silly drawing, but I think that's already taken us with our one exercise we did there. One exercise we did, it's already loosening me up and I'm able to draw silly things. Okay, so we're going to take our pen for a walk. How we do that, you can either do this exercise with your eyes closed and have a really big piece of paper, or just have something that isn't permanent. So if you do happen to draw off of your page, you aren't going to damage your red ottoman or poof or table, whatever you have your book on. Or if you want to feel, you're not in a state where you can kind of be at peace when your eyes are closed, maybe you just need to leave them open so you can focus more on what's present in front of you. And you can just follow and stare kind of at your pen. Try not to watch as much as what's going around on your paper, but focus more on that drawing aspect. And we're going to take our pen for a walk. So this is one of those really easy exercises that you can just get ink or pencil or whatever you have in your hand on your paper. Any ideas that you have in your head, you can get them on the paper. I would encourage to focus more so on shapes and lines and circles and squiggles or jagged lines or dots, whatever feels right to you. This is a really great way as well to release any tension or anxieties that you have out through the pen and just have it out of your head onto the paper. Maybe that'll help you then, figure out what you need to do and deal with that problem and know those steps. Or it might just wasn't need to be dealt with anyway and you just need it out of your head, and this will help. So what we're going to do is taking our pen, putting it on the paper wherever we please, and just take it for a walk, meander on the page. If I feel very tense, I might do this action very quickly and big. If I'm feeling just kind of, hum and really indifferent, I might just kind of start and go doodling. I feel like my lines might be very fluid, but there's a sharp one there. So I'm kind of just creating some big closed shape. Is what it looks like. I'm trying not to focus on what I'm doing and just kind of working on what feels good to me. I actually really like the sound that's making a lot. So it could, keep on doodling and making it like a picture. I would just again encourage whatever feels good right now. We're taking it for a walk. If it's speed, then go fast. If it's getting closed images, like closed circles, closed lines, do that. If it's going over something, do that too. Just whatever feels good to you. And you don't need to keep your pen on the paper the whole time, like I'm doing, and kind of making extra lines out. And of course this will look different if you're closing your eyes, but I'm really trying to focus on not making a picture. Like not worrying about composition or anything. Just doing what feels nice to me. I'm resorting back to a little bit of that breathing technique, like the breathing exercise and the shapes you're doing then. I'm going to draw some circles. Something you can do with drawing circles. Oh, what's the word, please? Something you can do with circles is close your circles when you're doing them. So you can do something like, this. You might have to bring it closer. Something where you're making circles, like just circling them. Something you'll notice though is every single one is not closed. This one kind of looks closed, but it's not. A mindful way to draw circles and just being focused on those and kind of taking what is in your brain and what's kind of bombarding you with the day, but just like focusing on something else, is drawing circles and focusing on where you started at the circle and ending there as well. So closing off your circles. It kind of makes you have to do them slower and also kind of makes them a little bit more circular. But this is again just for the walk. This again is not for anything different. This is just something I'm feeling like I want to do to open up my drawing capabilities and my creative capabilities for the day and getting this out on paper. So as you can see, there's a lot happening. But I feel satisfied. I feel like I was able to get a lot out. I can do this on this other side too, maybe do it in a vertical orientation. But just getting drawings out. Try as well to do it like we did that breathing drawing without having your arm resting on anything. So without it being rested on the paper, without it being rested on your leg, how you're sitting, just having your arm kind of floating in the air and being free while you take your pen for a walk, as we are calling this exercise. Again, it's just kind of having a free drawing. You can do it with your eyes closed and just kind of do what feels good to you, not look at your paper. Yeah, but now that I have that, I kind of have one that's a lot more busy and one that isn't. What I can do is I can, like we did with drawing your breath, evolve this drawing into something I want, I see maybe. It's kind of called scribble or doodle drawings. We've done it a lot at Studio, in person at Studio Central. But having this and seeing if I can take anything out of it or build anything onto it. It could be using the exact shapes and forms that it's in, or adding more to these to kind of like add some type of pattern. Using more colors, using other types of drawing mediums like a pen or a pencil to add to this. So use like a marker. But that's another type of exercise to do. Now we have one more, and it kind of, now that we've been doing these two, it kind of loosens us up a little bit. We've done 2 drawings. We have 2 drawings. I have 3 drawings under my belt. They're not, fully fledged, beautiful things that we're going to hang up in, my living room. But they are something that I was doing, and I started and I worked on them. So last one we're going to do, this is also going to be kind of like a mindfulness activity, but more so of just something to kind of ground yourself, present in the moment, but also what I want to do is I'm going to switch my utensil up to pen. There's also pencil if you prefer. Pencil on the counter. I'm going to switch it to pen. I don't know which of these pens work better. I don't know quite know. Okay, well it doesn't matter. I'll just use my little chair is making a lot of noise. I'm sorry if you've been hearing that. This exercise, our last one, might not have it as close there. Might actually do it like kind of like up in the air. That might add fluidity to my drawing. I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. But what we're gonna do is we're going to draw our surroundings. So what that is, that could be anything to you. I'm gonna lift. It's a little bright for my face. We're gonna draw our surroundings for this little intro of our activity. What that means could be anything to you. It could be drawing the feeling that the space you are in is bringing you. So if you want to make that more abstract, you can. It could be the colors and only using the colors that are around you. It could be doing a line drawing and drawing still life almost, but you're not setting things up on a table, well lit, for you to draw. You're just actually sitting and drawing where you are. It can be a very good activity to help you just kind of feel present and in the moment. Sometimes I know, especially over the holiday time and the cold, our brains can get very foggy and clouded, and I know myself, sometimes I can just kind of sit and not be present and kind of sit and coast by. And this is something that helps me, is just, putting your feet on the ground, your hands on your leg, or your hands like to your side, or touching something, and just kind of feeling the materials and focusing on what you're holding. What does it feel like? Is the chair armrest hard or soft? Is it wooden? Is it fabric? Is there a sound in the area you are in? I can hear the furnace humming right now. That is the sounds I hear. I really get a lot of energy and connection from outside, and I know during this time it's very hard to be outside when it is so cold, or if you don't have a safe place to be outside as well. That can be hard. So I position myself beside a window for this drawing exercise because it makes me feel calm. I have also positioned myself in front of many plants because I like bringing the outdoors in with me, and it's super cool that we can help sustain life that would not be available to live in our climates. So that's cool. But yeah, think of where you are in, and now visually look where you are. So I'm gonna show you what my tripod. So when I flip you around without my finger being in the way, we see what is in front of me. It's my leg because I'm sitting in a chair. We have this book that I kind of have to lean forward and then draw, but I think I'll lean back to do this exercise. And we have this big chair. So we have this big blue chair. We have some plants that look like they could use some structural water or a different pot. We have my tripod. I'm going to move it a little bit more to the side here. And then we have a lamp in the closet in my front door. So this is what I'm going to visualize as I am drawing what's in front of me. Also, if I look to my side here, I have a paper with my notes, more plant leaves that I am sitting in my plant. I did not lie about that. I have my water cup. There's a change from carpeting to my flooring. There's another couch there. There's a lot of things around me, and I could draw something specific, like I could draw the teacup with the plant. I could draw the folds in those pillows, or I could put my hand out and frame something. So I could frame that scene with my door, and I might do that. It's a little blurry because the camera's focusing on my hand, but if I just put my hand here and stop right where that cushion is, and then I go to the door handles there, I go to this lamp, try not to block it. But just like you see my hand framing that, maybe that's something that I will draw. You can do this as well by taking your sketchbook and holding it up to be whatever you're going to draw. That can kind of help too, so you can visualize and just kind of cut out whatever is there that you don't want in the drawing. So visualizing the plant with the cup. Visualizing? Is this the word? I don't know if I'm using the right words, but seeing in front of me the way that the door, there's a little window on the very top of the door and how that just peeks off over the lamp, seeing that there's some plants beside it so I could extend the drawing out a little bit. I don't want to do too much because if I do the whole room, that can be very overwhelming. So we don't want to do that. But what we can do is kind of take note, and now that I've shown you all what's around me, I'm looking at myself and seeing if I can pick up on anything, and anything's inspiring to me of what I want to do and draw. And again, this is something that's going to I've stopped and I've looked at the space around me and I've relaxed and I've seen, maybe the speckles in the carpet is something I want to be focused on and draw. So this is what our last exercise we're going to do today. My holiday tree. Christmas tree. Yule tree. There's a tree in my living room. Nice. I'm going to swap my camera back towards my book so you folks can see what I'm doing. I really shouldn't have rubbed my eye on camera. All right. Never draw. I'm going to see actually, as I put you in my tripod already, this sort of fuss. I can just get like a better angle for this exercise. I'd like my book to be here. If that works for you, say it, don't. Apologies for adjusting my tripod with the inside. There we go. I think that'll be nice. I need to be relaxed, so I'm gonna put my book on my foot. You're gonna see me sketching here. Because you want to be sitting back, you want to be relaxed. I've lost the pen I was gonna use, so we're using this one now instead. And I'm gonna draw my surroundings. With my style of sketching and doodling, I really want to keep it loose because I feel like, again, it can be really limiting if you focus on one thing or focus too much on one detail. It really can limit you from knowing where to start, and then you just kind of, I want to put the book away and I don't want to do anything. So together we looked at the lamp with the door and the closet, and maybe a little bit of the leaves just off to the other room there. So maybe I'll just doodle that. And I think I'll do it vertically. No, always horizontal. Things are horizontal, mostly. Yes, so I don't want to bump the tripod anymore, but for me, I don't do like a straight, distinct line. I kind of like doodle and open up my lines a little bit, just because I want the freedom of kind of changing it. And you'll notice instantly my lines aren't straight, and that's okay. I think it's really important not to focus on, if something looks identical to how it is in real life, because I've said it time and time again, we're not a camera. We shouldn't need to identically reenact what's in front of us. It's the feeling. And that's kind of what makes perspective drawing interesting. I'm never incredible at perspective drawing. I blame it on having mild astigmatism, so I kind of see objects a little funny anyway. But I've never understood what that meant, so here we are. I'm just doing silly perspectives. But I think it makes them interesting. Like my drawing, I hope you are able to see. This drawing right now I have of my couch and my chair and my funny lamp. It looks real wonky. It is not how it looks in real life. But I'm happy with it. It's okay. So I got my pillows. In real life, they're touching. It's fine that they're not. I'm gonna focus a little bit more on this lamp shade. It's also very tricky to film yourself drawing and actually drawing, because when I'm filming myself, it doesn't matter, if my hand is over here or my drawing's over there, I'm turning it. If I'm drawing for you folks, I want to make sure that you can actually see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can, there we go. Nope. Oh, I can. Whoa. Yeah, I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing this side. If you can't, let me know. So now that I've had a couple of lines, you can see I go over it a lot more, just so I can have it distinct, but like, yes, that's what this line's going to be. So it's just me sketching. Oh, yeah, that's very comfortable. Much more comfortable than sitting at a desk. I've just had my legs up. This is called holiday drawing in art. I was just saying at the beginning of this, you need to be So, the reason I chose pen for this exercise, especially with sketching, is also a move on me doing this as a mindfulness piece for myself. I don't want to get hung up on if I did something a little bit wrong or like the shape of something's a little bit off. I don't want to get hung up on that. And I feel like when I draw with pencil, I can always be tempted to erase and try again. And as fine as that is, I don't think there's any issue with that. I really wanted to see if I could just work on this to my own um, just getting it done versus trying to be a perfectionist about it. Because again, my perspectives are going to be super wonky, and I know that to start. So why am I going to fuss more over it? I guess the corner of the house is going to be a little interesting, so that's going to be the corner to kind of ground myself. And I know earlier I was saying, oh, I'll make that one little spot, and I started drawing more. It's fine. It happens, I guess. I'm just going to keep doodling, and we'll go from there. That's kind of the end. So I'm still taking my time with this drawing. I know a lot of times when we do drawing exercises, they're always saying, oh, let's do the 5 minutes, let's do the 30 seconds, get yourself really loose. Those drawing exercises make me panic and stress so much. I just can't manage getting everything I want out of one space, and it would feel more hectic than not. So this is my kind of version of them. I focus and draw my breath first, and make sure I feel calm. And if I don't feel calm, at least I'm breathing in a calm manner, so that helps me start off. Then I loosen my pen and loosen my hand and drawing. And if you need to take a break, please do that. Like right now, my hand is feeling a little numb, just because I do a lot with my hands, and sometimes I have some feeling issues if I do too much. So letting it rest and then going back in. So if I need more time though, I would just sit aside, have some tea or coffee, get some water, make sure I stay hydrated. I'm really focused on the closet exit, like the change of how this closet attaches in the back. But hey, that's fine. I have to really hurry to make this a straight line. I don't want this closet to be main focus. So I do feel the more you add these like aggressive lines to them, the more it becomes like a main focus of your drawing. So if it's fine for the lamp, I can put a lamp because it's in the foreground, I want that. But this closet is kind of like just background. I don't need this to be focused at all. So I really want to make sure, aside from just this big thing on the back, really want to make sure that that doesn't get much more attention. I'm going to add this line more attention there. But even though it's like a little bit of a skewed perspective drawing, not a little bit, it's pretty skewed, I'm still focused on like getting, all the components involved. I don't know why my tripod just got hit up a little bit. So there's a little bell, like a Christmas bell, hanging on the door handle. So I've added that, but that's really all I'm going to do with the closet. This is a really big part, I think, of my sketch is this threshold ending where this part of the room, that one is like different and further away. So I really want to make sure a lot of attention is drawn to this wall ending. So I'm just gonna really thicken up this line. But the couch is in the foreground, and I don't think I'm gonna make it super strong and noticeable. I might add a bit more lines going over it, just to add some, again, hierarchy to it. And hierarchy is just like image hierarchy. It's things that are darker and more bold typically get seen first. So if all the parts of your drawing are very bold and very big, and bring a lot of attention, people just won't know where to look, and it might get a little overwhelming with your drawing. It might be a little bit one note. But line drawings, like the standard line drawings that you see all over the internet right now, a lot of those just have one weight and one line. So that's kind of like a different type of art to go for with it, and it's totally cool if you continue to do that. It's totally cool.
Okay, so we have a super
thick line, and there's like a table, but I don't really want it to be a focus at all, so I'm hardly getting it noted. I'm just scratching it in. There's like
a bowl on the
and then there's some plants in the background. That's what I want to do. But because plants are, living things, and they're always moving, and they're always changing, they're not symmetrical whatsoever. I mean, some are if you really prune it, but I really want to make sure that I get that represented in my drawing. So that is plant stem. And the thing is, how I'm sitting, I can't actually see this plant stem, but I know it's there, so my mind may be dry. That's fine.
yeah, there's like a little front end table here, front end table. And it's, again, I
didn't want to add too much detail to this side, but it is in front of all of this, so the drawing doesn't look flat. I'm gonna just
have it darker.
But not like have too much focus of what's on it.
This is where I always
toss my bag after when I come home, so I'll leave that in there.
Like, okay, there's a little Christmas tree on.
Let's go back to this room here. I'm almost done it, really. I want to get, this is a little bit confusing here, so I want to add some definition to the end of the couch.
I guess the top of the couch. Here is the door, and this curtain rod.
Definitely goes above the door, but it's fine. It doesn't need to be perfect.
There's my window in the door. Deadbolt lock. Handle. Just
draw. Don't know how to do that right. I think just like, yeah, like not full lines, but like. Kind of the window, and I don't want to draw anything out the window, so what I'm going to do is
I'm going to kind of just like smudge what would be outside.
Again, I've said this so many times. We're like, don't draw too much. You'll overwhelm yourself. And what am I doing? Drawing everything I see. I think this could have been helped if I didn't, if I had one of those mats, like a photo frame mat, or I had my phone in my hand. But what I could have done as well is like, let's see if you can do some kind of, but do it like one of those things where you hold up your hands like this, and like just hold it around your place. You can do it that way. If you do want to be a little bit more like on, like I like on
on brand.
I don't know what the term is. Correct, accurate. If you want it to be a little bit more accurate with your drawing, you can also use your pen and kind of like measure the scale of things. So obviously there's no like measuring pieces here, but say like you're going to measure like a tool or a lamp or a pillow or something in front of you, you could like hold your pen out to at the end of your hand, because then it's like the end of your arm. You're always going to have it at the same distance, and then measure how many of like your pen caps or how many of like your thumb marks something is, and then something right next door to it, like the wall or the window, you can do the same thing and measure it, and that's so you can get the perspective related to each other on the paper. But as you can see, that is not the case here. I didn't want to worry about any perspectives. I just wanted to worry about like getting my details down of like what's on here. So now I'm just thickening my curtain line. I really don't like the curtain. I shouldn't have done anything more to it. But it's okay.
I'll just finish
A little bit over here with the couch, and then I'll be done, I think. I gotta make sure that I keep on looking at what I'm drawing.
and then there's like some pattern.
On the couch or the chair that I'm drawing, and maybe me adding a little bit more to that would kind of hide this line of the lamp that I originally drew. But I think I'm going to focus most on the pillows, because then I don't need to, again, have that hierarchy of my lines. So I don't need to draw very intense lines on every aspect of the couch. Just something that's kind of going to help distinguish what it is, kind of at first glance, to somebody else. So like, pillows that you have a very familiar shape. They're kind of square, but also like kind of round and pudgy and fluffy because they're down or feathers or stuffing inside. But they're not always solid. Like they're always like in a bit of a wrinkled pile or floppy pile. So you want to try and achieve that with the drawing.
I don't know, that pillow. That looks like a pillow to me.
That looks like a weird cat to others, but Ollie, if you're watching, I'm very sorry if you've seen my interior drawing techniques. They're probably watching and like, oh my god. And this is why I get you to do the drawings for layouts. Not me. I don't know. I'm happy with my technique. It's not up to interior design standards, I'm sure. But you get the feeling of what's in the picture, I think. Enough.
Like seam in this pillow. It's like has a fringe to it. There you go. All right.
Oh, there's some designs on there that I thought.
We'll tell. Just to get the basic. So.
Here's mine. Oh, my pen was right under my legs this whole time. Here's my piece. We have that we've been staring at for quite some time, but now let's peek at what it actually is. So we have the one drawing. We have a couch, we have a lamp, a closet door, something in the back, and then the curtains, which are kind of stuff like that. And then in real life, we have, it's very, very close to me. But we have, I didn't draw the plants aside, but We have the couch, which you can see here is very similar. We have the lampshade and the back door behind it, or I guess that's my front door, and the closet with the little bell. You can see that. And then we started having some of that back room made with the plants and the little table off the side there. So didn't involve, other things around me here where there's, the floor or the change with the carpet. I was just kind of getting what was like in front of me here. Didn't get the outside window, but kind of got the most of that. So it was just a way I was able to show off my surroundings, drawing my surroundings, be present in the moment. That's all. I'm a pop Thank you for joining me. Like I was saying earlier, it's been a little bit of a minute since doing these live streams for myself, so it's a pleasure to have you join me in and get ready and set for this week. We're going to have a few more put up. Ollie is going to be on tomorrow, I believe. They'll be doing some type of art workshop. I will be joining you all again on Thursday, and then Win will be with us on Friday for a holiday baking spectacular. No, we're gonna have the classic Win baking video or video, and I really like those, so I'll be tuning in. As much as I can, I'll tune in as well during these workshops and live streams, and I'll be commenting and be there to chat with folks while you're watching. So if you wanna connect as we're doing these, do it in the comments. You can share. You can comment after, and hopefully one of us will be able to pop on and respond. Yeah, but that's all. Enjoy your Tuesday. I hope you stay cozy, stay hydrated, and do some art.